This is JC. I'm going to answer question 2 here. Can high and broad-based tariffs fix the U.S. trade deficit or rebuild manufacturing employment? In brief, no. Mostly because high and broad-based tariffs will also reduce exports along with imports. What happens there? It leaves an imbalance of trade. And that imbalance of trade is what we're trying to get rid of, but it doesn't change. Exports fall when tariffs are introduced for a number of reasons. The first is that many exports use imports as intermediate inputs to the final goods produced in the United States. What does that mean? Making these inputs more expensive with tariffs will boost the price of the exports, making them less competitive in the global markets. Secondly, trading partners are highly likely to retaliate to U.S. tariffs with tariffs of their own, making exports more expensive in international markets, which we've seen on made-in-America goods from Boeing airplanes to Kentucky bourbon. And finally, tariffs will put upward pressure on the value of the U.S. dollar in global markets, which will make our exports more expensive and will increase the attractiveness of imports to the U.S. customers, primarily causing the U.S. trade deficits and manufacturing job losses. So there you go. What's happening is that we'll get an unbalanced trade deficit, and one in which we're on the losing side, okay? And what will happen there is that it will suppress employment in the manufacturing sector, United States. And it says here we consistently import far more manufactured goods than we export, and the difference is nowhere near made up in the services trade. So this is talking about manufacturing. The trade deficit drives a wedge between domestic consumption of manufactured goods and domestic production. Closing this trade deficit would hence substantially boost job opportunities in the manufacturing sector of the United States. However, large and broad-based tariffs on all manufacturing imports will not do much to close this deficit for several reasons. I'm not going to read all of them. At first, many U.S. exports are produced using a large share of imported inputs. For instance, the auto industry uses parts in their cars that come from Mexico and Canada. Okay. Second, most obvious, tariffs are rarely unidirectional. When we impose tariffs, our trading partners are likely to retaliate with reciprocal tariffs on U.S. goods, pricing U.S. exporters out of international markets. And then the big one here is American farmers, ranchers have incurred the most widespread damage, and this we're seeing already from retaliation in the 2018 tariffs. The damage was so great that the Trump administration authorized $61 billion in emergency relief payments. Well, the bill that the freeze that Trump just put in place just took farm subsidies away from farmers. So there's farmers now. For instance, one example, the farmer lost $2 billion, maybe $3 billion in subsidies to help do the farming when Trump froze the, I guess it's the AID relief. I'm not sure which one, but all the freezing that he's doing in different departments are currently affecting our farmers and ranchers tremendously. And okay, so third, large and broad-based tariffs would put upward pressure on the value of the U.S. dollar, making U.S. exports more expensive to foreign buyers and imports cheaper, more attractive to U.S. business customers. That's just a repeat of what was the answer in number 1 above. So there you go. That's pretty much an answer to number 2. So this is JC, St. Louis's oldest living hippie, saying, "Pox some more, Jack. Keep on trucking."